Yo.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey. Yeah, wow, I can hear you very clearly. How's it going?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm chilling. I'm having a pretty good day. It's finally
Nice.
getting a little cooler. It was like a crazy heat wave for a while. So
Oh wow, yeah.
finally in the 80s, I'm just like, nice and cool. Like the 80s feels so cool to me now. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
But okay, maybe you could do a quick intro for the stream. Like tag, where you're from, how long you've been playing, and what are your goals for Melee?
Yeah. So my tag's Forrest. Name's Thomas. I'm from Illinois. I'm living in Chicago right now.
Okay,
Um.
Chicago, I see.
Yeah.
I like the
Uh.
Chicago scene.
Right. Right. Very, very brief aside, and you don't have to remember, but I remember I was going to school in Champaign, and I housed you for House of Pain. If you remember those tournaments, like way back in the day. It was like way before pre-pandemic.
One sec.
Um.
Somebody's at my door. One second.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Yes, I'm doing a lesson. What's this for? Oh. What do you need me to do? Cut this? You're good, right? Yeah, good. It's just like you got your shot today. Let's take it 2 shots. I see. Okay. All right, no problem. Sorry about that. My dad needed help
Yeah.
with something really quick.
Yeah, no worries.
Let's see. You were saying, wait, you housed me. So I remember I housed with like Sago and those guys. So that's not where you're at, right?
No, no, not where I'm at. No, I
Huh.
was thinking, talking about like Champaign, um, uh, like kind of south of Illinois. It's not
House
important.
of
I just
Pain.
want
Yeah, yeah. My bad. My bad. I sometimes my memory needs a little jogging. If we if
no,
if we
no, no,
talked for
no
like
worries.
5 minutes, I swear I'd remember.
Yeah, no worries. And then I've been playing Melee since 2015, so it's been a little under 7 years, like over a little over 7 years. Not sure,
Mm-hmm.
but exactly the date. But in terms of goals of Melee. Um, I think overarchingly, like classic, like I want to be top 100 eventually. And I feel like last few months I've been trying to practice a lot more regularly every day to try and like reach that goal. And trying to absorb as much like melee content as I can. I watched some of your lessons, some like Drug Fox lessons, and doing a lot more melee analysis. But I think what I want out of this lesson, and I guess overarching the goals of Melee, is just to have a better framework to like understand how to analyze VODs because I think I do it at a very like basic level,
Mm-hmm.
just like kind of like watching them and skimming them to understand like some certain like tech skill things I'm doing wrong and to practice them. But I think there's a better way to go about it, or at the very least, like I want to like optimize it, but it's sometimes hard to like do that and then also
Mm-hmm.
improve.
Okay. And so both of these VODs are Marth versus Falco, right?
Yeah, yeah. So this is
Okay.
yeah.
And is there any reason you picked this matchup in particular? Like, is there something that going on in this matchup you feel like you're struggling with, or?
Yeah, I think Falco, but then generally sees I have actually a fairly big problem with, or at the very least, I feel uncomfortable oftentimes when I'm fighting a Spacian bracket. Um, when it comes to Falco, I think I have a lot of like idea of how to fight laser. I think that's kind of like how the matchup goes in neutral is like
Mm-hmm.
how to like mitigate being locked down by laser and things like that. And I have certain ideas, like obviously power shielding, but then like acting out of hit stun and doing good jumps out of shield or like just jump and then take the laser fair, things like that. Like just like very sporadic ideas that sometimes work, sometimes don't, and I don't fully understand when they do or don't because sometimes like I think in the beginning of the spot I get kind of like destroyed for the first two
Mm-hmm.
stocks, and like some of the ideas that I have work and don't some they don't work, and then like the next two stocks I think they just randomly do work, and sometimes I don't fully understand why.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. All right. That sounds like a good starting spot. I'm gonna start going over it. The screen share is working, right?
yep, I can see
Okay.
it.
Great. Okay. I don't even. Okay. Wow. He just like yeah. I would have probably gotten hit by this. Like the game starts, you're like, oh no, he's already on me. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, but don't worry about that. All right. Let's see. Okay. He's kind of spamming. Okay, so at low/mid percent, when you're in a corner situation like this, going to the platform is really, really good.
Yeah.
That's just like a note that like you shouldn't really get trapped here. You can a lot of times go up to the platform. He doesn't want to read it really because he doesn't have anything that's super high value against you going to the platform here. If you're at like 80, even like 70 or something, maybe not, because if you go up here and he reads you with like a back air or a nair, then you go off stage and you might die from an edge guard. But like at this percent, like if you just wave land to the top plat or the side plat and you're holding down, like you're pretty safe generally. Whereas like in this position, I get really uncomfortable. Like I understand this feeling you're getting here where you're like, like right here, you get super stuffed right there. A lot of times the side plat is like your friend in that situation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you can also do like I see you doing like this jump here into like this fair here, like that.
Yeah.
But like you're doing it when he's like, whoa, sorry, my
retreating.
computer lagged for a second. You're doing it when he's like too far away here, like here. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with doing this just because, like you couldn't really react to what he was doing here. So like I'm fine with this one, but then why not do it again when he actually clearly is now coming in? You could have jumped here and then maybe gotten the fair here. So just because you like did the fair and it fails doesn't suddenly make it worse,
Right. Yeah. I think I definitely have a problem with like seeing something not work and then not doing it. Like that's just like the next reaction.
I talked to Kalindi a lot about this, or should I say this is something Kalindi makes a very big point of, is that like the amount of times that something hits matters a lot less than the amount of times that you can be punished for something. Because if you can do if something only hits a tenth of the time, but you can do it 10 times in a row without being punished, then that's pretty good because you can just never get punished, and then 1 out of those 10 times you'll hit it, So a lot of times, if you're doing this thing and like this fair is like the reason you did this fair in the first place is because it's a really good option. Like this short hop into laser fair is good, and no negative consequences happen because of it. So there's really super nothing preventing you from going for it again, like right here on this one. So it's like right here I either want short hop fair, or you can also short hop into the laser and double jump out to the platform, or just full hopping over the laser onto the platform. And you can kind of mix up whether you waveland forward or like go straight here.
Yes.
I think those are probably your best options, because otherwise you end up in this really awkward like, should I power shield? No, maybe not. Should I dash? And you just get super stuffed, and then Falco's just on you, and this situation feels really, really bad for Marth.
Right.
And you should generally be trying to avoid the corner as much as possible in this matchup anyway. Because from the Falco end, his entire game plan is get Marth in the corner, and then get Marth off stage, and then edgeguard Marth. That's his entire game plan.
Right.
And so, like, if you just kind of vaguely stay in center stage, Marth is not the type of character that Falco can really kill easily from center. Sometimes he'll get shine, and then you DI off stage, and he'll get like a late down air, or maybe even shine and you DI off stage and he gets a back air, or you DI up, and maybe he can get something off the top. But Marth is really like hard to kill out of those spots. Like Marth mostly dies in this matchup off of edge guards, like 99% of the time. And so, like, if you can help it, it's like kind of better to get hit in center a lot of times than like be in the corner, like this roll here. Like, it's so much better to just never be in this position, and like you're here and you're afraid. A lot of times, it's better to maybe just short hop and then drift a direction, or full hop and drift a direction, or just pick a direction and do dash dance, A lot of times that is a stronger option for Marth than putting himself in the corner.
Yeah.
Something to keep in mind. Okay, and then you get corner pressured a little bit. And you see, like, you get into this spot on the platform, and you're like, kind of not in a great spot. Like, like, after this is kind of that same spot repeating. So I would have probably done something here where, like, okay, obviously this is really kind of sketch, like this position in general. I think going for the fair here is okay. Up air would have been good too. Okay, you get hit. Okay, I see you went for fair up tilt. That's okay. You get hit here. I would have really liked the dash back. Because you can kind of do a thing where, like, if you dash back and he does this aerial, like, here, then you just get a grab here.
Yeah.
But then if you dash back and he kind of does this, like, full approaching laser on you or whatever, a lot of times you'll kind of, like, get hit and, like, slide the ledge or something like that.
Yeah.
Out of the dash dance. So you just got to get really comfortable in this, because it's sort of like, I don't know, Sheik coming down. You know, like, Marth Sheik is like, all you do is you keep her juggled in the air, right, yes. Forever. And that's the whole matchup. And a lot of times how well a Sheik does versus Marth is how comfortable they are getting out of that disadvantaged state. Like, a lot of times it's less about how good Sheik is at killing you, because, yeah, she'll kill you eventually anyway off of some forward air or something like that. And it becomes a lot more like, how well can she play her disadvantaged positions? So even though you don't want to be in these corner spots, the more you can, like, not let these corner spots end up with Falco just stuffing you in the corner, the matchup, it just gets way easier when you become good at that, because you're just good at your disadvantaged state.
Sure. And it's like one of those, like, situations like going to the side platform, or like putting more dash back into situations where, like, they kind of do that shadow down air.
Yeah, there's so many spots that Marth can go into and where he's just not in that much danger. It's like Peach. A lot of times Peach is down to, like, let you hit her when it's not in a spot where the hit will really, like, kill her. And I think Marth can kind of do that in spots against Falco. Less so at this %, but, like, he can still kind of do it. Like, you can still wave land to the platform, and you're not going to die. Like, you will never die immediately for wave landing to the platform. Whereas, like, trying to up tilt or shield grab in the corner here, you can very easily just get down air, nair, down aired, forward smashed, forward thrown, you know.
Right.
Whereas if he forward throws you from here, you're like, I'm fine. If he forward throws you from here, you're like, oh no, like, here it comes, you know.
Right. Yeah, I think it's definitely, like, in some ways, like, desperate for a reversal opportunity, like, from the corner, as opposed to just, like, strictly trying to get out, or, like, like, just putting yourself in a better position to, like, get out, even if you do get hit.
Yeah. So, like, something to keep in mind is you don't want to be a down throw Marth. Like, down throw is, like, the thing that just sort of happens occasionally, and you're like, oh, nice, free stock, you know?
Right.
It's the equivalent to being a down throw Marth is maybe, like, I don't know, that's not even a good equivalent, but it's basically like a fox who every time they hit you off, they just jump off and try to shine you out of your thing, and you're like, come on. Like, sometimes you'll get those, like, they'll just show up, but you're not gonna, like, get it every time or whatever, you know? And so, like, you want to be a forward throw Marth, where you're like, I got Falco in the corner, I locked him down, he couldn't do anything, and then I forward threw him off, and then I gimped him out of that, like, out of, like, a good, strong position of, like, a winner, you know? You don't want to be, like, hiding in the corner, like, because you're playing a worse matchup that's easier, where you're like, all I have to do is get a good shield and down throw down tilt in the corner, and that's good, but it's like you're playing a way worse position out just for the chance of an easy kill, whereas, like, if you play strong in the center and you get a nair into a tech chase in the center stage, Zane will just kill there anyway. Like, he doesn't need the down throw down tilt, and because he's in center, he's also miles safer than you are in the corner.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind, Falco wants you in the corner. So, like, if you and your opponent's goals align, someone is doing something really wrong. Like, if you're like, he wants me in the corner, and I want to be in the corner, it's like one of you is just messing up big time. Okay, so that's actually the biggest thing. This entire stock so far has literally just you cornered yourself 3 times and you got punished. So it's like, this one is like, you can just beat this by, like, starting the match with nair in place or something, you know? Like, literally, it's like, that's nothing, but you kind of did, like, let him just get on top of you, and then it's like, you're here, and it's like, okay, but here, it's like, are you going to fight this out? Are you going to, like, run off here and up air? And it's like, no. Defensive corner, It's like, okay. And then how about here? You're like putting up a little fight, but then you get really scared. You shield here. Like, shielding here is not that good. The sword is what protects you. Like, the range on your sword is a way better shield than this bubble that doesn't even go above, like, Marth's nose. Like, like this shield is mad low. So, like, you don't really want to be doing this too much. You just want to protect yourself with the sword and the threat of dash dance. Marth is not like a shield heavy character. You really don't want to be shielding too much. There are spots where you can get like a light shield and maybe get a grab on Falco. Like, his shield is not unusable. But if you're in a spot where he's like here and you're on the ground, like that we ran into like here, right? Like, this is not a defensive position where you need to shield. If you're here and he's on top of you with the laser and you don't want to dash back into the corner a final time, yeah, maybe you could get away with a shield or whatever, or, you know, light shielding on the platform is really good. But if you're here, like, this is a solid position. You don't need to shield to play this out.
Yeah.
It's almost, it's interesting. It's like we're only a few seconds in. It's not a big deal, but it's interesting that, like, the decisions so far have exclusively been moving into worse positions that have easier solutions. Where, like, you're not comfortable doing this up air dash dance because, you know, what if he falls on me perfectly and gets me, or I mess up my dash dance? Whereas you're like, if I shield here and he's really dumb and gives me the down air, then I get, like, a nice, easy opening. I didn't have to put any effort. And that's kind of, like, the same thing with the corner. So I'm not 100% sure, but it's something I'm going to watch out for moving forward on this.
Sure, yeah.
So, yeah, put yourself in the corner again. And he hits you here, and you're like, oh, I'll just go back in the corner for you. And the Falco's just like, yes, I love this matchup when Marth puts himself in the corner. Okay.
I did it again.
And, yeah, so right here, this is like a uniqueness about Marth that's pretty sick. You never, ever, ever need to go here when your opponent's in the corner. Ever. There's no justification for ever going to the side plat while Falco's cornered. So pretty much against every single character in the game, there's no justification for going to the side plat. The reason is because you have a giant sword that lets you hit the platform from down here, you know? So this was like an error going up to the side plat. Nice, simple rule. Never do this again. Even if you're invincible. It's like, you could have just done, like, right here, you could have just done, like, full hop, and then even if you wanted to full hop here, full hop, fast fall through the platform, up air, you know, just to, like, or forward air to, like, option coverage, but not landing on it, because then you're like, oh, I'm in this awkward spot, and you get punished. And you're in the corner again. Yeah, it's crazy. And now, look at you, like, I love fighting in the corner. Like, I'll back off here. And so the thing is, Falco, like, it will inevitably happen that you get backed off into the corner. That is kind of the way the neutral game works, and it's why Falco slightly wins the neutral in this matchup, in my opinion, is that, like, if he does his lasers super perfectly and times all his spacing and stuff like that, you're not really going to get, like, a convenient opening during this whole thing, but you need to, like, be ready for him to not be perfect. It's really, really, really hard for Falco to be perfect in this matchup. And they need to prove it to you that they are perfect in situations 1 through 100 before you should, like, fully respect that. A big part of this matchup from Marth's end is finding imperfections in the way the Falco spaces through kind of, like, safe-ish gambles. So, for example, if you think he's going to laser here, and you can drift this nair in a little bit more, it's not like Fox, because against Fox, if you drift in on this nair at all, he's just like, zip, zip, and then he punishes. Like, he just gets out of the way. But Falco can't really do that. He's a lot more stuck on the ground here. So you can actually nair a little bit forward, and then if you get hit by the laser, you can fair out, you can double jump back to the platform. You have a lot of ways to kind of be like, hey, if you're doing, like, an unsafe approach or, like, a bad laser here, this nair will hit you. And if not, and you shoot a really good laser, I'm chilling. Like, here's my fair in case you want to run into it. Anyway, I'm still safe, you know? So yeah, I like this, like, take laser here, double jump waveland, like a solid way to like escape it. So that's good.
Yeah.
Right there, that's totally good. But then so right here, you're already obviously wave dash back is really bad. Like always dash back. Wave dash back is kind of a joke because Marth is like leaning into the punches instead of like the dash back where he's like, here's my toe and then like here's my head like over here, you know, like he super like leans away from the opponent, and that'll let you dodge stuff like this nair, whereas the wave dash back you won't. Yeah, little mistake here with the forward smash instead of the grab, but it's not a huge deal. And then like what you do, like dash, wave dash into the corner. So not only are you putting yourself in the corner, but if Falco had down aired like right here, you're in wave dash lag. You can't punish it.
So yeah, I get my idea with the dash wave dashes, I thought he crouch canceled the forward smash and was trying to punish me, so I was just trying to get away.
Dash back is always enough. That is just something to keep in mind. Like, it's always enough. Like, against Falco, against Fox, nothing you can do to get away is ever enough because he's too fast. It's just how it is. You got to play it totally different. But against Falco here, if you're at this range, right here, this is literally dash back city. Like right here. There is literally no action Falco can take to punish you for dashing back. And this is kind of how the neutral works, is Falco can't punish your dash away with anything like, he can't really hit you. But if you dash away, he can approaching laser, and he's moved you slightly closer to the corner. But you can read him coming in with up tilt, with nair, with power shield grab, that kind of thing. And so a lot of times that's how the neutral plays out, where like you read Falco coming in with a move. That's sort of your like higher risk, higher reward thing. Like, I'm gonna stay in place and throw out a move, and if I'm right, I hit Falco, and if I'm wrong, a lot of times I'll get punished. And then you can be like, you can do that move, or you can just dash away, and the dash away is like, I could still punish some things that Falco does, but not nearly as many, but I'm way safer. And so this is sort of the nature of the neutral. Like, does Marth want to take a big risk and read Falco coming in with a move? And then you're like, oh, but it's like if you play safe too many times, and you're like, come on, Falco, give me something. Come on, Falco, give me something. Come on, Falco. Oh no, I'm on the edge. I get edge guarded at low percent and die. And so that's sort of how it is. Like, you kind of have to decide when you want to make your risky plays. And that is sort of Marth's end of the matchup a lot of times, is like, come on, Falco, give me something. Come on, Falco, give me something. All right, you're not going to give me something, but I feel like maybe if I do this move here, you'll run into it. And then, like, you kind of need to just do that over and over. And Falco's goal is to sort of play aggressive enough that you don't just want to throw out moves all the time, and you want to dash back, but then not get hit by you, like, doing your walled aerials. So yeah, right here, dash back would literally beat this. Free punish with a grab. And then, so right here, you dash back, but the wave dash ruins it, and it locks you in the corner. So you land here, jump. Okay, yeah. This honestly was not a bad decision by you. You just, like, you just lost neutral here. Falco gets the laser, approaching laser, and he gets the nair. There's not a lot you can do, because basically this is the exact choice that I was just laying out, is that, like, you could move back here and be totally safe until the next interaction where you're in the corner. Or you can take a little bit of a risk and try to jump in and fair him, which you did, and then because you were kind of wrong about, like, the timing of it, then he gets the hit on you. And the nice thing is, because you're not super far in the corner, and you're also not at like 70, 80, you're probably not going to die out of this, which you don't. And you do manage to get a reversal. So, that's fine. Let's see. And yeah, this is kind of like the joy of dashing back into the corner, is like you try to pivot grab, kind of, but you're like a little bit off, and then you just like go to the edge, and you're fine. Although you missed the edge, so you died. But still.
Yeah, I think I just messed
it
up.
happens. But the basic idea of like you could have just grabbed edge there is still pretty good.
Yeah, that makes sense actually. Yeah.
This is like the worst crime ever. Is never shield after the laser.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay, so this is something that's I talk about. So I see this forward smash. A lot of Marths don't know this, but Falco double laser in place gets hit by Marth forward smash every time. Laser approaching laser is actually too fast, and you can't forward smash between laser approaching laser. Because think about it, like Falco shoots the laser, and then like he's already moving forwards, so when the next laser comes out, it comes out way closer to you, so the gap between the two lasers hitting is way smaller. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So when you're in a situation where you like going for that forward smash, I'm not going to tell you no. I think it's, you know, it's a little risky, but like also if you tried to up tilt or whatever, it's low key like the same risk, right? So I'm fine with this forward smash, especially because you're at 0 and Falco is really weak at 0. Like if you're going to be going for these types of gambles, up tilts, dash attacks, forward smashes, stuff like that, your best bet is to do it when you're at 0. Or like below 10%, maybe below like 8%. But basically when you're at like very, very low percent, Falco's moves don't work. Like you can just, like if he does down air shine and you crouch cancel it, you can literally shield the shine. So Falco is horrible at 0, and so my big recommendation to all the Falco players is that when Marth is at 0, you need to run around and hit him with like 10% of lasers before you interact. So there's this brief period where Marth is at 0, where he just gets to let loose. And like, oh, I just feel totally crazy today. I'm going to double forward smash or whatever. So like, going for these double forward smashes that you're going for is like not that bad, because he really can't like 0 death you. Falco can like 10 to death you and 15 to death you. But 0 deathing is really, really, really hard for him. Almost like impossible. Like if I shine you at 0, I usually do shine, jump up, shine, up air, or back air. I don't even go for like the pillars because it doesn't work.
Right.
So the point I want to make is that, so you go for this forward smash, I'm down. So when you're here though, you don't want to let this second one rip unless Falco is already in range, because then if he does another laser in place, or he does a little dash dance here, it'll connect. But you're basically at a range where like, what, Falco, like the only thing forward smash beats here is really bad approaching aerial. And he's like, Falco's never gonna approaching aerial from this distance. So when Falco's maybe here and he lasers you, feel free, if you're at low percent, maybe that's when you want to let this tipper rip. But when you're at this range, he's either going to do laser and then, like, wait for you and think maybe you're going to, like, you know, dash in short hop fair and he'll punish it or something, or dash attack. So he's either going to laser and wait for you, in which case the forward smash will miss and he'll just murder you, or at least get something. But if he's here, you're basically reading, like, oh, if he lasers again or dash dances or whatever, I can, or like does laser approaching aerial from this range, I can probably hit him. Yeah, but from here, look at this. When you do the forward smash, even if you're frame perfect, this will never hit Falco on approaching laser. Right. So you got to be really careful with that. And yeah, look what happens when Falco tries to pillar at like 0-ish. I think he starts this at like 6. Yeah, 6, which is, and it's like, okay, so that's even hard. Even at like this percent, like 15, he kind of is like, oh, like what does he really do out of this shine, you know? Like, yeah. Low percent is a little abusive for Marth, where Marth can kind of, you know, look for a little bit more cheese. But now you're, like, at 46, these types of, like, even 33, like, this type of, like, aerial up-tilt stuff, you have to be way more careful. Like, you could die right now. Like, if Falco touches you right now, your life could end. Where at 0, you have some leeway, so you got to be a little bit more careful here.
Right, okay.
Also, something here, like you're shielding, if you full hop like this, what's going to happen? Like, it's fine. Falco doesn't have, like, a Fox up air. Like, yeah. If you full hop here against Fox, he's like, oh, up here, and you're dead. Falco doesn't have that. And his shine off the top is very, like, 50-50 left-right oriented. He's not really, it's not something he wants to, like, rely on or go for a lot. And a lot of times when Marth is just way up here like this, Falco doesn't want to jump in and get like, I don't know, up air, fair, countered. Like there's all kinds of things that can happen. So there's actually spots like this where you're like, I feel kind of uncomfortable. I don't want to get back aired off. But remember, you don't want to really be down here. This is kind of like your bad space. So like I'm honestly in favor of like full hopping and going to top plat, and you can kind of just go like full hop, top plat, come down here. You can even do stuff like you run off this and you run off and you like drift back, edge cancel, down air, back air, dash. But you know, like there's things you can do coming off the side plat. But it's just a lot better than being like, you know what, I will play out this corner. Because watch, he beats you every time. Like every time you're like, you know what, gonna play it out of the corner. He's like, nice, you're dead. Like, nice. Like, I'll just beat you up. And you're like, oh. So that's what you want to avoid. Whereas, like, when you're here, he doesn't have this same pressure. Like, here, this feels good for you. This is what you want to establish more. Like, haha. Honestly, even this is a little too passive for me. You have this big frame advantage here. Give it a dash in. Dash in right here. Because Falco, I don't think he can hit Marth dash back. I think if you're, like, here, and he dashes forward and you dash back on the same frame, he still can't catch you. So when you have a little bit of frame advantage here, you can use it to go in like this, and then if you think he's going to approach, then dip back, you know? But like by dashing in here, you can create a little bit more of like a threat on this.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Honestly, watching this so far also, there's like, you really, the biggest thing missing, I've been pointing out a lot of things that are missing big, like things that you've been doing wrong. But there's something, you're really missing the nairs. Like, nair is Marth's main neutral tool in this matchup, and I just haven't seen you really, like, use it. Also, right here, land this up air. If you can, dash back.
Like pivot F smash or something?
Pivot up B. Or just jump back here, and then, there's so many spots where Zane, like, right here, he'll just up B me. He'll just jump up next to me and up B me, like, to the left, literally.
Yeah.
And he does that, like, every time. Like, he'll just up air, up B. And it's just so hard. Like, even I get sent off stage even when I DI it well and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, like, yeah. Like, let's say in this situation, so you power shield the laser here. What is... I'm trying to understand what this wave dash forward does. Because, like, I feel like if you got this, the perfect thing here would probably be to go to the side plat, because, like, he's invincible. But, like, I don't know. I'm really big in favor of, like, when Falco is invincible, that you should, like, wait on the ground. Wait on the ground for him to come to the ground. So, like, right here, you're waiting on the ground. Falco comes down to the ground. As soon as he comes to the ground, side platform and light shield.
Yeah.
He will never, ever, ever pressure you during invincibility, ever. Whereas making these reads and stuff like this, you could just die for no reason.
Right.
Like,
yeah, that was definitely, like, my intention, is that it's just a read to, like, think he's going to go in, so I have time to, like, go underneath him. But
yeah, and you read him perfectly, but you could have definitely just gotten down aired, you know? Whereas, like, if you had just immediately gone to the side plat. I think Kadoran does it pretty well. A lot of times Kadoran does, like, a little bit of a dumb one where he'll just, like, oh, Falco's dead, and he'll do this. Like, he'll, like, kill me right here, and then he'll just like light shield right now on the side plat. And there's a little bit of a problem with that in the sense that Falco can actually come off the top plat, and then he can do run off laser grab on your shield. And it's not the worst thing in the world, but also, why would you do that when you could just avoid it entirely? So I just like to wait and be like, oh, look, I'm totally not, like, I'm, like, kind of, like, I'm showing Falco, I'm mobile, I'm moving around, I'm not just light shielding in this easy to set up on spot. And then as soon as, like, he's moved around a little bit, then I'm just like, oh, light shield on side plat, and, like, he's not going to be able to, like, get down and come up and then come up and down again because he has to fall with the laser, right? So he doesn't have a way to like full hop over, which takes forever, and then fall with a laser grab. So after just a little bit of time, you can just go to side plat, light shield. You will literally be safe every time forever against every Falco in the world, and you don't even have to really like make a read. Like Falco's invincibility on Marth is rather weak, and I think actually a lot of characters' invincibilities are rather weak, but they're it's not really developed right now. People are kind of bad at avoiding invincibility. The only exception is FD. On FD, literally, just hope. Like, every character in the game, you're just like, please don't kill me. Like, please. Like, there's just no escape when it's on FD.
Yeah.
The best you can do is, like, kind of pretend you're going to dash through them, and then you go to the corner, and then they chase you to the corner, and then you go to the ledge and do one refresh, and then you're kind of safe, but they can also just read your refresh and kill you. You know, it's rough. But on this stage, there's this very simple algorithm that you can follow that, like, you don't have to make that read. Great nair, always grab here. Always grab.
Yeah.
Like, fair nair at low percent, always grab. Don't think about it. Don't think, oh, this move could be better here. Or, oh, this move, like, fair up tilt in this spot gets me something. Nah. Low percent, fair nair, always grab. Do not question it ever. There's just no reason to ever deviate because you can't confirm it that fast. Like this down tilt, like it's like you land this nair, your brain should just be like grab, but you're like, oh, he's kind of in the air. Maybe I can down tilt him before he lands, and it's like it doesn't matter because he can't CC your grab. Like the fact that he's on the ground is going to be irrelevant in 1 second when you grab him and then just forward throw him off.
Yeah.
So grab is just always better here. And it should be a completely automatic reaction. There's no decision to be made. Ooh, I actually really like you going to ledge here. Almost no Marths do this. I definitely respect going to the ledge in that position. I think that was, if nothing else, a very tricky mix-up that would have probably tricked me.
Yeah, I think the fair was supposed to cover like an air dodge or something, but it was like way too fast. Like I should probably wait to like nair or something if they air dodge.
Well, one thing here is like, because the interesting thing is like, I feel like most Marths here, and probably the best answer here is to forward smash or down tilt, but you can't super react to the DI. So you just being like, I'm gonna throw him and then immediately go to ledge, like that definitely throws people off. An interesting mix-up for sure. Like I have no problems with that. Okay. Hey, you did it this stock. And it worked perfectly, where you just wait, and then you're like, oh, now you're back, light shield, and I'm safe. Except, obviously, you want to do your best to, like, not
drop to the corner.
Yeah, so, like, let's say I'm here, and I'm, like, here, and you go up, and, like, as you're going up, you see that he did whiff this forward smash. Then maybe, you know, you don't have to stay here. You just, can go up, you can go up here. You can go up here. You can get closer to this edge of the platform to like. Actually, you got pretty close. Honestly, you probably could have grabbed here. Now that I'm looking at it, like I think you could. Like when you did this, I think you can just grab here.
Yeah, I was just scared because like light shield pushback is like not something I'd fully like get. It's like not something that's like
light shield has a lot more pushback than it does stun. The stun is not that significant. Like, yeah, if he hits you with, like, a late aerial, you're not going to be able to get him. But, like, if he hits you with a rising aerial, you can always get it, even out of a light shield.
Yeah.
But, yeah, falling into the corner, if you're going to end up in the corner here, like, let's say you're going to take this action no matter what, I would rather you drop and then wave land to the ledge and then do... Like... you just don't want to be in this spot shielding. Like you can drop through waveland forward roll. You know, there's so many things you can do here. Anything but this, because you're just like asking for it.
Yeah,
you're super asking for it, and then you get this, and it's like yeah. You know, it's like this. When you get this, I want you to like specifically be like, okay, that was their fault. Yeah, don't be like. I shielded in that
dopamine machine.
Like I shielded in that spot, and it totally baited him into the downer. It's like, no, dude. Like being a down throw Marth is bad. Like you don't want to do it. It'll happen, but like you don't have to train it. Like shield grab, down throw, down tilt in the corner is not like something you have to like grind.
Practice.
Yeah, like it's not like the thing you're afraid of missing. So it's like it'll happen, but when it happens, just basically like pretend they kind of SD'd, you know? Just don't see it as like a win, because the fact that you were shielding in the corner means you would have lost neutral against like a better Falco. In tournament,
right.
Obviously, just like, yeah, Pog, like free money, you know? Like I'll take that every day of the week. But when you're training, just be sure that you don't mentally like reward yourself of like, yeah, that was a nice quick stock. Like I took a quick stock, because you didn't. They took their own stock quickly by letting you down throw them in the corner. Okay, that was totally fine. Like your punish for it was totally good, so it's not a problem. Dash dance a little bit more between these nairs. Like the in place nair is not as good as the dash dance nair. Obviously, it just creates more mix-ups. Like you know, somebody aerialing out of shield versus somebody doing a dash aerial is just really different. And so like yeah, like you shielding here and then nairing out of shield. Like if I'm Falco, it's so much easier to play around your bubble of drift that comes from a shield than comes out of like a dash.
So would you say that, like, I guess like that comes in somewhat counterintuitive, like like knowledge? Like I really don't like doing like full drift in nairs versus Falco. But I guess that's not what you said.
No. It's okay. So let me rephrase it just a little bit.
Sure.
It's less about the fact that like you have momentum, and more about the fact that you could start your jump from a lot more different positions. So it's like it's less about the fact that like your drift out of it's like your drift out of shield can only reach like this like range or whatever, and it's not like, oh, if you were dashing here, your drift would be able to reach way further. It's like that's true, but it's not always. It's more relevant that like if you weren't shielding and you moved here and then naired, it's like way harder for them to keep track of because it's unreactable changes in position. Whereas like here, Falco sees like this, like right here, you see the shield and Falco's waiting and he sees the shield, so he knows you're limited to jumping from this exact location. Whereas if you're dash dancing, you could jump here, you could jump here, here, and it's like by having to play around all of those, it's way more likely that he'll be like, I feel like he's gonna jump here, and then he'll put himself out of position for, you know, you jumping here. So just creating more options for yourself is always better. It gives your opponent way more to think about. Yeah. Not necessarily super bad to do this nair, like it's a pretty safe nair, but I'm just saying that like when you dash dance, it gives you so much more threat range and like versatility to your nairs.
Yes.
It's sort of like Captain Falcon, where like Captain Falcon is the dumbest, simplest character in history, right? And you play a really bad Falcon, like day 2 Falcon. What are they doing? They're nairing.
Just running at you and nairing.
They're just running at you and nairing. And so you're like, wow, okay, like, I wonder what, you know, Wizrobe, Nun, and S2J do. Match starts, they run at you and nair. You know? Literally, it's the exact same thing, except when you look a little closer and you're playing against them for long periods of time and you realize, aha, they are jumping from slightly different positions than the worst Falcons. They're drifting slightly different ways. They're mixing up their fast fall timings with the nairs better. If they get hit out of the nair with like a laser or a weak hit or something, they have way better counterplay. You know, like the nair gets like really nuanced and layered, and so Wizzy's nairs or S2J's nairs, while it's still literally just Falcon like herder short hop nair, is like way higher level than these bad Falcon nairs.
Yeah.
And Marth in this matchup is like, you don't need to have genius up airs, or honestly, like I was gonna say, you don't need to have genius down tilts, because it's funny in the Fox matchup, like you need to be like a down tilt warrior. Like if you're not good at down tilt, you're just gonna lose to every Fox. That's just like how it kind of is.
Right.
Whereas like with Falco, down tilt is like this unusable trash move because Falco's not dash dancing. He's short hopping over and over. And that's really broken against down tilt. So like different matchups kind of require different levels of nuance for each move. And this matchup is like short hop in general and nair. Like your nair sensitivity or like your nair nuance and your defense out of nair, mixing up your drifts, your fast falls, your positioning, pivot nair, dash back nair, dash forward nair. Like all of these nairs is like, that is, even though the bad Marths will nair and the good Marths will nair, the difference is the quality of those nairs. And so that is something that you definitely need to be putting some more thought into in this matchup, I think, is getting like high quality nairs. Don't just like throw your nair out. Be like, I want like a non-standard nair, you know? Like I want a little bit of a spicier nair. And I think that'll help you rather than just being like, I'm shielding, I'll nair. It's like, no, I'm just going to stand here and nair, and I'll like drift in a little, and then I'll drift a little back, and just kind of see what happens. Like explore the nair, and like see it as a more nuanced move, specifically in this matchup. It's really not that nuanced against like Fox. You're just like, shuffle nair in place, dash back, dash in, shuffle nair in place, dash back. Like, it doesn't have the same level of like, in this matchup, you need to think about high nairs. Frame 1 nair hits standing Falco, whereas like frame 2 nair goes over standing Falco, and then like, but then like, if you do like a fast fall correctly, then you'll hit crouching Falco. You know, a lot of times if you don't hit the fast fall correctly, the double hit nair will go above like a crouching Falco. Like, and a lot of this is like just getting really, really good at the nairs and being able to like test Falco's imperfections using the nair. Okay. You put yourself in the corner again.
Right.
Like the match that starts and you're just like, oh, corner time, and then you end up like looking for grabs in the corner, and that's how you get bodied, because Falco's just gonna beat you in neutral in this really negative spot for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, still playing out of the corner. And it's like, you know, a good way to get out of the corner is like nair. Just kind of put it out there, drift, like short hop forward. Even like empty short hop forward is really good. Like you're here, you can do empty short hop forward or even nair forward. If they laser you, then like you get a fair or a double jump. There's a lot of times where Marth will do like short hop nair out of the corner, and I land a laser, and they take laser and do double jump back, wave land off, fair, dash back, dash in. You know, something like that. Yeah. You have a lot of ways to get out of the corner, and you just keep wanting to get there, and then like spam grab, and it's like it's killing all of the good stuff you're doing because you keep repeating this like, for sure I'm gonna lose bad habit type thing.
Yeah.
It looks like you tried to roll.
That was a mech tactical error. I definitely did not mean to.
Okay. I was like, no way you tried to do this. Like,
No. I mean, back turned, like, shield.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all not what I meant to do.
Okay, so... And yeah, a lot of times we're, like, right here, you know? Like, let's say right in this position, short hop nairing, where, like, you kind of cross him up and the back hit a nair hits right here. A lot of times can get you out of this corner position. You don't want to, like, fight this out super hard. Like, I know the up tilt is just, like, Omega tempting, but it's kind of like the down tilt, where you're, like, you're sacrificing a good position for, like... Well, like maybe I just win the lottery and make $1 million. You ever thought about that? And it's like, no, dude, like, get a job. Like, like, get center stage and then just get center stage and then play it out. You don't need to be like a cheese lord just because you're, you know, Marth. Because look what happens when you go for this is instead of being able, you don't even get to, like, play real neutral. You just literally get, like, stuffed into the corner and you get hit out of your dash back and look, and then you die. Literally, it's like exactly what I'm saying. Oh, you're at 70 and then you get edge guarded, dead. And it was all from those few mistakes. Like, when you weren't putting yourself in the corner, even though your nairs were not like great or anything, it looked fine. Like, you probably would have won, but you put yourself in the corner like enough times that he eventually just kills you and wins the match.
Yeah.
No. No. Okay, so here's an easy fix for this. And a lot of Marths do this, and it feels really brainless. But you can do this for now to get a little comfier, and then step it back and get a little bit smarter in the end. But what so many Marths do, and honestly it's really annoying, is they will begin this match here by doing dash, short hop, or full hop, literally like across the stage, and try to get forward air grab. And I know it sounds really, really stupid, but you're at 0, so you're allowed to be stupid.
Okay.
And so at 0, you don't need to play safe. You don't need to play smart. Obviously, playing smart is better than dumb, but playing scared is worse than playing dumb. So
yeah, okay.
I want you, literally when the match starts, just jump over and try to hit Falco with a nair or a forward air. And if you want to be extra super smart, then just drift back a little bit and land in center instead of full commit. Like a lot of Marths will literally dash, full hop, full drift in, late fair. And I'm just like, dude, and I punish them. But what do I punish them with? I get laser grab and it does 12 damage. And and that was them being as dumb as possible. Sometimes I'll get down air grab, up throw up air, and that's 30 damage, and it's and that's the dumbest thing they could possibly even consider doing. So I want you to start out whenever you're at 0, and especially when the game starts, be really aggressive about taking the center stage and taking space. Falco can't 0 death you, you're fine at 0. Whereas if you go into the corner and you eat a couple lasers, and now you're in the corner here, Falco's already okay, now I'm sharking Marth, and he's already in the corner. Because when you get hit up like this, let's say he did this to you, but it was here instead. This same interaction under the side plat, right here, right? Okay, so let's say he shines you there, but it's right here, and you go up here, and he hits you with the same combo, but you're kind of in center instead, where he hits you here, and he shines you and does this, except now you're in center, and you're coming down, and you don't have this if I go to ledge, I'll get gimped, and if I double jump, I lose my double jump, and I'll get gimped. That's a really bad feeling. And, you just don't need to, none of this needs to happen. All of this was your choice.
Right.
And so, it's kind of nice that it's your choice, because you can just choose to not let it happen again. Falco didn't do anything that gave him this position. You gave it to him. Okay. And yeah, a lot of times on stages like this, it's really useful. Falco has gone to this range, full hop, wave land off, forward air.
Yep.
Falco a lot of times will be forced to move back, gives you stage space. You don't want to be underside plat camper in the corner Marth, because it's weak. It's just bad.
Yeah.
Really good at beating bad players. But you know what's also good at beating bad players? Being better than them.
Yeah, I've never thought of that one.
That also works really well. No, I know it's pretty obvious, but
no, dude, it was a nuanced opinion.
So yeah, you just get stuck fighting in the corner, and then when you get naired in center, if he was out of the corner and he naired you like this, you would either slide off this side platform or just go to ledge for free. But because you get hit in the corner, you could have just died here. You had a 50% chance of surviving. And you get hit again. Yeah, and once you're at this percent, you're kind of you're very dependent on the Falco messing up. Yeah, and when I'm off stage, in this, everybody knows this position feels awful for Marth. It does not feel good, and you just kind of recover and you hope he gives you ledge or stage or something. And I think it's definitely good to go to ledge here pretty much every time at this percent, because over 105 on stadium, Falco can just ledge dash down tilt and you die no matter what. So I like going to ledge here. There's just not a lot you can do out of that spot. It's all about avoiding getting into that spot in the first place. Yeah, because then you get into this spot where even when you make it back, he gets this kind of forward throw edge guard loop, and it's man, you're telling me each one of these is a 50% chance I could die? I don't like that,
Yeah.
Okay. Good dash attack. He kind of gave it to you, but it was good. It was he kind of just did something stupid, and you're oh, I'll kill him for that, and you did, so that was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just thought at like high percent I needed.
And this is like a small detail, but like Marth is really bad at getting off the ledge. We know this.
Yeah.
So you don't want to get off the ledge immediately.
Yes.
Like refresh at least one time. Like it's kind of like you're just like in a really bad spot. So the longer you wait, the less prepared they are. But like if you go to ledge and you immediately come back up, they're so ready every time. That's like my general perception of it. Is like I think it's better to like wait a little bit on the ledge.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Kadoran gave me the same advice when I was doing Fox with him.
Then what happened? Sorry.
Kadoran, I did a lesson with Kadoran like a while back, and he had the exact same advice. Just,
I
like,
see. Okay.
Taking time on the ledge,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been trying to do it better, but like, I mean, it's sometimes really hard in tournament specifically. I don't know what the fuck happened there.
Yeah, I was gonna say also, I think the best thing you can do from the ledge is the Kadoran. And this isn't even the best ledge play, but it's the best ledge play for the littlest effort. So refresh a decent number of times, and then you double jump up, full drift in, and then drift back late fair. You know,
Yeah.
late fair, just it's amazing. Falco has to space around it. What else are you gonna do? Ledge dash shield, ledge dash hope up tilt. You know, at least the forward air. You get out this really late fair. You know, if you're in center stage or not even center stage, like if you're just playing neutral on the stage, and you get a late fair out, you don't feel that bad about it. Like just in general, like oh, what's he gonna do? Shield it? I'll just dash dance or I'll pressure him.
Yeah.
So like the fair is really your best like low effort, perfect kind of ledge solver option. And like Kadoran, for example, does it every time. Not even as a mix-up. He does it every time. And it's really annoyingly good. There's almost no real counterplay to it. Mostly because Marth slightly changes up the drift and the timing of the fair, and it's really his best option to get up from the ledge, especially against Falco, in my opinion. So that's a lot better than going for like these wavelands on, because a lot of times you'll just die for those. Yeah, like whoa, what's this? What's this shield? Laser? Dash away. You have like, because you're in a position, so when the part of the reason why cornering Falco is so strong is because it's like the opposite of when you're in the corner and you run out of dashbacks. Like it's kind of like a currency that you have or a resource where
right.
you have 4 dashbacks before you're on the ledge or 2 dashbacks before you're on the ledge. And so when Falco's in the corner here, you have like, you have like 4 dashbacks, especially on this big long stage, 4 or 5 dashbacks in neutral. And each one of those dashbacks is like, oh, if Falco does a dumb approach, I hit him. If not, I'm safe from literally everything, And so it's like, if you do 1 dashback, and then maybe he does a retreating laser, and you take back your space, you got a bunch of safe reads, and you still have, 4 dashbacks. So you need to like play with that in mind, that you have this resource of like a good number of dashbacks here before you really have to interact with him. And so it just makes sense to use any resources available to you. Whereas like going for the shield here is like a big time heavy gamble. Like, man, I really hope he early aerials me. But the thing is, he's never going to early aerial you here because you're not close enough. See how he's approaching from super far away? If you're afraid of him approaching here, you nair. Like if he's here and he lands this laser and you take this laser, if you think he's gonna try to approach you here, nair in place. Forward, I'm probably not forward smash because the approaching laser would hit you, but like nair in place. If the second laser hits, late fair out of the laser. Dash back is totally safe, Shield is whack. It's just bad. Marth has a horrible shield, and he has really bad out-of-shield options. And if Falco is at 0 and you're at like 120, then you can kind of be like, and it's in tournament in game 5, just hold shield and be like, please, you can do that, but that's not the way I want you to train.
Yeah,
I want you to train to be better than that.
What the fuck happened there? That's crazy.
I mean, I can look at it. Laser went over your head.
Oh, and he shined me into the laser.
Yeah, he shined you into the laser, and then you, no impact landed out of the laser and immediately grabbed him.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Melee is such a good game. No, I'm just kidding. Trash game. Oh, this is that spot again. This is that critical thing of like, if you get hit out of this, the approaching laser will beat this every time. If he had approaching laser here, it would have beaten this. So remember, only let this second forward smash rip if after the first laser, he's in range. So if he was here, then the second one is super justified because another laser in place will get hit by it. Okay. 1 sec. Okay. And it's kind of funny. How many Zane videos in this matchup have you watched?
I mean, a few. Like I've watched Zane versus like bad Falcos, and I've watched Zane versus like, I forget what good Falco. Oh, Zane versus Ginger. I've watched a fair amount before.
Yeah, if you watch closely, okay, so we're pretty much at an hour.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
When you watch the Zane VODs, because that's something I want you to do, I want you to ignore every single move except for his nairs. And when he does a nair, I want you to look at the exact nair he does. Don't just be like, he did a nair. Because it's not just a nair in this matchup. The nairs are very nuanced. And so you need to say, okay, did he do dash back, dash in nair? Did he do pivot nair? Did he do dash in, nair drift in, drift back? You know, did he do a slightly later nair? Did he fast fall the nair? And just like gather all this nair data. From what I remember, the last time I went over this with a Marth player, there's like 3 nairs or so that Zane basically does exclusively, and you just need to kind of copy those and think about the positions that he does them in.
Okay.
So the nair stuff is really big. Being a little bit crazy at 0, like a little bit aggro, being not cornering yourself when the game starts, and like just not cornering yourself in general is like a really big one. Playing for center and not prioritizing the easy thing over the good thing, you know? I think that's like a big thing. Like, don't look for the down throw in the corner. You want forward throw in the corner and stuff like that. See, there was a little bit of the up B off of the up airs. There's the forward smash thing on the approaching laser.
Yeah.
Dashing back, never wave dash back. Honestly, I think that's a pretty good amount of things that you can kind of go over and think about. I would recommend rewatching the lesson just because we went over like a pretty big volume of things. Sometimes I'll go over like 2 things for a whole lesson, but I feel like it was quite a bit. So, do you have any closing thoughts or ideas on the lesson, or questions or anything like that?
Yeah, no, I think I somewhat understand it. Or not somewhat. Like I definitely understand like almost everything that you said. I want to like make sure that I set up like certain Uncle Punch stuff to like practice this sort of thing. So I guess like, do you have any ideas of like what kind of save states I should just set up? Just like approaching, like double approaching laser from Falco, and then like other, like any like really quick ideas.
I would try to like look at the nairs that Zane uses and hits Falco with, and then copy that same Falco laser pattern in an Uncle Punch thing, and like do the nair that he did that beats it. And I think that'll help a lot. Just sort of getting you in the habit of like, I see when Falco does that movement, this nair beats it. You know.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, if you have any other questions or concerns or clips or anything like that, feel free to send them over and I can give you some extra help with that. Keep me updated on how the progress goes, and otherwise, I'll talk to you later, man. I hope you have a good one.
Cool. Thank you. You too.
Peace.